Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was meant to be something on the back of a forearm because I've already done the inner of a forearm design for the person and they wanted to complete the sleeve. And I left this in a couple of pieces. There is the piece that says home the long way round, and I wanted it to match the swirly aesthetic that was done in the first design. Though instead of being interrupted with the TARDIS, I filled it in a little bit more to have the space filled out. And then also for the names that were to be added above the elbow, I kept those as individual circles. Now, an important thing to note about these designs is that each of them has this little shape here. This little shape at the bottom of each of these designs is our start marker. It tells us where to start reading. And because each of these has a start marker, we don't need to have them in the same orientation as they're shown here. Because instead of knowing where the bottom is, we just look for the start marker. So you can rotate these, you can adjust these, you can even flip or mirror them, you can assemble them however you like on your tattoo, and they'll still be legible. So we don't need to start at the bottom, we just find our start marker and start reading there. And when you're adjusting things with these names, there's this outer ring here, and this outer ring that I marked red, and all of these designs, that can be overlapped however you choose, so that way we can have the names kind of connect and overlap. If you so choose, overlap them on that red line on the outside, but try not to erase anything on the inside to avoid affecting the translation of the words. So yeah, there is the outer set and circle as well on these individual names. So let's go ahead and read these designs. We'll start with the names. So starting at our start marker, our first letter is this shallow divot, and there are 1, 2, 3 lines on it, so that's an S. Then we have this vowel outside our word circle, so that's an A. And then we have an R, a shallow divot with 3 dots, and then an A, so that's Sarah. And then on this one, we have our start marker and a horseshoe shape. And this horseshoe shape has no filled-in dots. This is a vowel because it's empty in the middle. So because this has no dots or lines, it's a B. And then we have an O, which is attached to our consonant, and then another R, just like that one. And then an I with a line radiating inwards, and this S is done very similarly to this S in Sarah. On to our next name, we have our start marker, an E centered on our word circle line. This R is a shallow divot with 3 dots, and then an N with 1 line on it. This line makes the spiral here, and it's okay to overlap this spiral. We don't need to have this spiral fully visible other than this line where it ends on the N is the only thing in this spiral that matters to the translation. It was just to give it a little bit of a unique flair while keeping things relatively simplistic with these names. And then our A is outside our word circle. So there's that next name, and our last name here, starting at the bottom, going counterclockwise, we have our A outside our word circle, an L, a full circle with 3 dots, a B, a horseshoe with no modifiers, a U with a line going outwards, and an S, a shallow divot with 3 lines. So those are your names, and those names can be placed however you want, in whatever orientation, so long as, we have our letters on the inside, you can still read them, and the orientation doesn't matter because we have our start markers. So let's go ahead and start reading this one at our start marker down here. So starting here going counterclockwise, we have our horseshoe with 2 lines for the H, and an O is attached to it. Then we have this 3 line on an N, and then an E. So that's the word home. And this big thick circle here isn't on a sentence circle like it should be, and that's because I don't have sentence circles going around this design. So I just put that comma somewhere where it wouldn't be misconstrued as any sort of letter modifier or anything that is affecting the letters in either of these words. So they're very far away from this letter stem, and all of these letter stems have lines, so they couldn't have dots anyway, which leaves this as being just a comma, which is good because it's supposed to be a comma. And then we have a TH crossing our word circle with our E in the middle of it, so that's the. And then we have 1, 2, 3 dots on this L, an O inside our word circle, and then this NG has 1, 2, 3 lines. Yes, these sneaky little thin lines are just the lines coming from the NG here. And then we have a shallow divot with 2 lines for the W, A outside our word circle, and then this Y has 2 dots with it. This shallow divot has these 2 dots, plus this sneaky 3rd dot here for an R, and then our O is inside our word circle. A U has a line going outwards, an N has 1 line on it, and this is our D with 3 dots. So that is home the long way round. Hope you like your design, so please let me know if you need any adjustments made, but I also could tell by your tattoo that exists that your tattoo artist very much knows what they're doing, so hopefully these designs will be able to give your tattoo artist what they need to make the perfect design for you. Thanks, bye!